Good evening, it's February 26th, 2025, and I'm with Mr. John J. Jeckovich. How are you doing today?
Great.
You look nice in your new jeans and your heavy-duty red sweater. The door, please. And I heard you had a very special visitor today.
Oh, yeah, Amber.
Okay, what did you guys do together?
I took her to lunch. We had lunch.
Yeah.
But she had to go, she's got those babies all the time.
She goes to church every night and in the morning. She's a full-time missionary, and she also surfs around the world, so she's always on the go. She's got
she went in the ocean today.
Yeah, she said there was
5 sharks following her around.
Yeah.
I said, what the hell are you saying in the ocean?
Yeah, she commented there was more sharks than there were surfers today.
Oh,
it's amazing. It's so nice to have her visit you. Yeah, she's Mr. Jeckovich's great-granddaughter. She's in her 20s and a very nice young lady. She travels the world chasing waves, and she stops by and see Mr. Jeckovich when she's in the area 3 or 4 times a week. It's so nice, and it makes Mr. Jeckovich very happy. So, you had a nice day then, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Mr. Jeckovich is a war hero from World War II.
War hero, come on.
Come on, well, let's discuss it. Let's discuss it. You have 2 Bronze Stars, a Purple Heart. You've been shot by a sniper in your shoulder. You've been beat up. You've been stabbed. You had frostbite, which you still suffer.
This thing bothered me today, boy. That sucker thing was
It bothered you today, yeah. You have frostbite from 80 years ago, and trench foot, and you had a dirty bomb blow over your head, which still giving you shrapnel today. And then when they sent you to the hospital for 3 months in Paris, they said if they needed men desperately back on the front line, and they said, Mr. Jeckovich, if you could squeeze a trigger of a machine gun, and if you can walk, you're what?
Fit for duty.
So there you go. So I wouldn't know a better way to describe a hero than having a Purple Heart, a Bronze Star, Army Good Conduct Medal, American Campaign Medal, a European, African, Middle Eastern Campaign Medal with 3 Bronze Service Stars, a World War II Victory Medal. That was a very important one. A World War II Victory Medal. You remember VE Day?
Yeah.
Yeah. Army of Occupation Medal with the Germany clasp, a Combat Infantry Badge, Sharpshooter Badge with carbine, pistol, and machine gun bars.
M1.
Yeah, M1. Marksman Badge with rifle bar, an Honorable Service lapel button stating World War II. So, I don't know what else I can say. You're a full-blown hero.
Oh, yeah.
You're a full-blown hero. I know they're very modest. They're called the best generation of all times, and they're very humble. We didn't even know Mr. Jeckovich was even a combat veteran until 2 years ago. You must understand the guys on the front line don't talk. It's the ones that are in the back echelon, rear echelon, that are typing and writing stories. They talk a lot, but they never seen action. When Mr. Jeckovich went into the war as a teenager, they affectionately were referred to as the Diaper Division. I say affectionately because that's what the seasoned soldiers said, because these guys were never in a battle before. They're just teenagers right out of high school. But when Mr. Jeckovich was stuck in the Battle of Bulge in Bastogne, 600,000 crazy Nazis and less than 50,000 American GI combat soldiers, they were surrounded in Bastogne. They were caught off guard. No one thought that Hitler would take the last-ditch effort to go through the Ardennes forest, which is extremely wooded, very difficult to travel in. No one ever thought he would take that move, but Hitler was insane, so he wasn't rational. And at that time there, these guys here held Bastogne until the skies cleared up 2 or 3 days, 4 days later, so the U.S. Army could send in Air Force support. And so they went from being called the Diaper Division when they came in, and later they were nicknamed the Bulge Busters, which this YouTube and podcast are named after, and also because they held Bastogne. Bastogne was a key point. If the Nazis would have got their hands on Bastogne, the whole outcome would have been different, but they held Bastogne, and then they're affectionately called, at that time, the Bloody Bastards of Bastogne. So their name have changed, and rightfully so. Mr. Jeckovich was from the Company H, 2nd Battalion, 291st Regiment of the 75th Infantry Division of the U.S. Army during World War II. 80 years later, he still suffers from trench foot, lost a hip, and shrapnel still in his leg. They suffer every day quietly. Every day quietly. So it's the right term is hero. They don't like to hear it, but I'm going to say it. So I'm going to start like page 1 of your book, because we have exhausted almost all the pages, and we're just going to run 1 or 2 pages, and I have a lot of text messages. Do you feel up to answering questions? All right, let me just read 1 and 2 pages of your book, the first page and the second. But to open up the laptop, Mr. Jeckovich, I'll need your dog tag number.
420-965.
Okay. Let me enter it, and we will open. By the way, Mr. Jeckovich was born in 1925, and this year, 2025, he'll be 100 years old. So Mr. Jeckovich is knocking on the door of 100. It's knocking. He's knocking on the door of 100. Tick-tock, it's right around the corner. In 1925, when Mr. Jeckovich was born, gasoline was 7 cents a gallon. Beautiful houses were $2,000. Nice cars were $500. Things have changed. So I'll read just 1 and 2 pages of Mr. Jeckovich's book. In fact, it's the beginning of the book, and this book is titled Their Mother's Sons. Their Mother's Sons, and it basically takes Mr. Jeckovich from the age of 11, when he started caring for his mother because his father died of a massive heart attack, working on cement, which is his 3rd job, at the age of 43. He came from Russia legally. He did everything right legally to get into the country, and he worked his ass off till death. He was trying to give his sons a better life than he had in Russia, in the filth and the cold of Russia. Yeah, he came in and he gave back to the United States. He gave, he didn't take. He would never take, but he gave back to the United States. So let me just pick up on the first page of his book and the second, and then we'll go to the text messages. The title of this chapter is House and No Home. House and No Home. Crossing the worn carpeted floor in deliberate, almost tiptoe-like steps, he seemed focused only on one thing. His steps, that was a nice entrance, how you started this chapter like that. It's a very mysterious way, it's very nice. You did great wordage on that. His steps were directed to the object nearest the living room couch. As he approached it, his left arm and forearm struck it in a glancing blow across the right shoulder, knocking it to the floor near the couch. And I came upon him. I suddenly found myself being picked up by my waist and hurled against the living room wall. Holy hell. Holy hell. My back hit the wall as I slid down to the floor. I saw him leaving the room as I picked myself up from the floor. It was then when my mother remarked that I had blood on my back of my t-shirt. I had struck the light switch with my upper part of my back. My mother was sitting on the edge of the couch, sobbing quietly. She never screamed or shouted during one of these episodes. She said it would look bad to the neighbors. Did you have many neighbors at that time?
Well, they were about 30 feet apart. Yeah,
Okay. But the lot next to you was still empty?
yeah.
Okay. When I arrived home from school the next afternoon, there was no one else home. I knew I had to prepare my own supper. It would be pork chops and mashed potatoes, as my mother had left them out to thaw that morning on my kitchen cupboard. How were you able, not even a 10 or 11 years old, how were you able to know how to make pork chops and mashed potatoes? You weren't even 10 or 11. How the hell did you know how to make it?
Well, she was teaching me stuff the year before that.
Yeah. Picking up a small roaster out of the drawer in the stove, I laid it on the cupboard, peeling a half a dozen or so potatoes. Could you see kids doing that today?
Huh?
Could you see kids doing that
Well,
today?
maybe some.
Maybe some.
Yeah.
How about the majority of them?
No, they wouldn't bother.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
wanted.
I thought about last night and wondered what provoked it. They had just started to talk to each other after several weeks of silence. I placed several of the pork chops into the bottom of the roaster, sprinkled some salt and pepper on the top, and layered the rest of the roaster with sliced potatoes, alternately with the chops. On top, I poured a jar of tomatoes I got out of the cellar pantry. What was like a cellar pantry like?
Cellar pantry was downstairs with shelves on it, and we did all the cooking in the summertime for the winter.
I got you. Covered the roaster and put it at 375 for 45 to 55 minutes. It was now about 4 p.m. I had to make some cream puffs with lemon filling. You did that too?
Oh, yeah.
Oh my God. They would have the time to cool. But upon deciding that iced tea would be the drink, I boiled some water. So you made your iced tea from boiling water.
Yeah.
You didn't buy it already in a bottle.
No.
Oh my! Didn't you have like some type of clove tree in the back, or some type of spicy type of thing growing that it tastes and it's
The leaves.
Yeah.
The leaves, small leaves, yeah.
Yeah. Wow. My father arrived home at 4:30 and went straight to his room. Mother had slept in the only other bedroom with my younger sister the night before. We also slept in the same room. Steve, my older brother, got home a half an hour later. He had been out in a swimming meet. Oh, he swam too?
Yeah.
Wow. He was cheerful as ever, talking about the meet and the classes at school. I set the table for two, my father and brother. I set the table for two, my father and brother. Why just for two?
That's where he worked with.
Uh-huh. 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 As they talked at the table while they ate, I could see that Steve was cordial as ever to my father. I sat in the living room pretending to be reading. Mother and my younger brother, Lookie didn't sit at that table?
No?
Lookie didn't sit?
No.
Mother and my younger brother, Lookie, would not be home until later, and I would eat with them. So people ate with different people at that house.
Yeah.
My sister Sally would sometimes join us or eat out earlier with my father and brother. My mother arrived home from work and had eaten. It was getting dark outside. As was the case of previous episodes, such as last night, we all retreated to our past position. Mother would retire to the living room to listen to the radio and crochet. Even when you're a little boy, your mother crocheted.
Yeah.
Wow. Steve and I would go to the dining room table and do our homework. Sally would play with your toy doll in the bedroom. Lookie would not be home. Where was Lookie?
And wandering around.
Wow. Father would retire to the other bedroom, shut the door, and not to come out till morning to go to work. This routine would continue for several years until something broke the pattern. Mother never came forward to break the pattern.
They didn't go for a year. Yeah, they didn't go that long for a year.
Well, let me read it back then. Mother would never come forward to break the pattern. This routine would go on for several weeks.
Weeks.
Into something or something broke the pattern. Mother never came forward to break the pattern. We would refer to my mother as Ma or Mama, and father was called Tata. Am I pronouncing that right?
Yeah, Tata, T-A-T-A.
Okay. Strange as it might seem, we rarely use the names when addressing each other. So you never called your brother Steve? Or it says, strangely as it seems, we rarely use these names when addressing either one.
I call him Steve.
The same would apply to us. When we were referred to, it usually was, do you want this? Or, what do you want? Rather than, Ma, what do you want? I do not believe I ever recall my father calling me by my first name, and my mother rarely did. Why do you think that?
Well, that's where they were.
That was a custom back then.
Yeah.
It was only later in the years when I had my own children that I referred to my mother as grandma. My mother referred to me as father or husband. Okay, that's understandable. I did not like school for the formal setting entailed. Also, the teachers would instill in me a sense of uneasiness. My first recollection of school probably began around the 5th or 6th grade. Sitting in the classroom always gave me a feeling as though my power of such concentration was suddenly cut off. Being in the classroom felt unnatural, as if someone was judging or comparing me to someone else. My first teacher I recall was named Miss Northgraves. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
How she looks?
Yeah.
What'd she look like?
Well, she's a 45-year-old woman, had a temper.
But what was her looks like?
Huh?
What was her physical appearance?
She was moderate height. She wasn't fat, she was slim. But she'd tell you what it was. She'd tell you what.
Well, she had a bad temper?
No, she'd tell you what she wanted done, and if you didn't do it, she'd tell you again.
Okay, so she was straightforward.
Yeah.
She was straightforward and tried to get the lesson across.
Yeah.
Is that it?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, wow, that was your 5th grade teacher. Who the hell can remember that? Wow. She was a dedicated, sincere teacher, very serious in her assigned task, but a no-nonsense type of person. You only had her for 5th grade?
Yeah.
Did anyone get along with her?
You mean the kids in the class with her? Yeah.
They got along with her?
It would be 1st grade, right?
5th grade. Wow. Mrs. Northgraves.
That's Northgraves, yeah.
Did you ever see her after 5th grade?
Well, she taught school for 5 years after that. Then I guess she went back to Wisconsin.
Okay. She was a teacher who whacked me on the knuckles, supposedly talking during school assembly. It was not until I got into junior high school that I encountered and became aware of different aspects of my personality. To begin with, I was assigned to the 8th B class and just completely undermined me. I knew I was not an honor student, but I always thought I could get a good A student. It led me to compare the other students in my class with the students in the A class. I could see many differences in A students, dressed more neatly, their mannerisms were more mature and poised, but most of all, they had an aura about them that made them stand out. One knew they were exceptional, at least I thought so. Wow, that's page 1 or 2 of your book. Do you want me to continue or want me to read some text questions? Okay. I got a lot of notes on my ledger. So let me pull out my ledger and see where I stand. Now remember, these text messages are from people all around the world. So don't get offended. They might think it's important to them and not important to you. If you don't want to answer it, don't answer it. But for heaven's sake, if you do, answer it, and then we'll be done with it. Because, you know, people are funny. Sometimes they give you some type of trick questions. Mr. Jeckovich, what's your lucky number?
7.
7. I'll be damned. Mr. Jeckovich, have you ever been to an opera or ballet?
We went to an opera with Stevie when my mother and Sally visited in Pittsburgh. We went to an opera. It wasn't an opera. It was a band, an operatic band playing.
Where did you like it?
Oh yeah, that was good. Yeah.
Mr. Jeckovich, during your lifetime, have you ever bought anyone some flowers?
Some flowers? Oh yeah.
Oh yeah? Okay. Does any come to mind?
Roselli.
Okay.
Catherine Roselli.
Okay. Mr. Jeckovich, what historic war do you feel was the most tragic and which was the most beneficial?
The war?
What war do you think was the most tragic?
The one I was in?
No, this is just a general question about wars. What war do you think was the most tragic and which war was the most beneficial? Could be any war.
The World War One.
Okay.
Beneficial was World War II when it ended.
Yeah. World War One, they actually had trench fighting.
Yeah.
Which was very brutal.
Mustard gas and everything.
It was horrible. Mr. Jeckovich, when you're alone, what memories comes back to you the most?
When I'm alone?
When you're alone, what memories come back to you the most?
What I did there today.
Oh, you go over your thoughts of the day.
Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting. Mr. Jeckovich, you said when you went to California, you had different dishes of food when you were working at your brother Steve's house. Mr. Jeckovich, do you like Indian food?
What kind of food?
Indian food.
Indian, no.
Tell us about your experience you had when you went to some type of restaurant in California with your wife Delphine.
Oh, we went in there. I don't know. I was working with Carsville, and we went in to repair a duck in there Sunday when it was shut down.
Oh, okay.
Well, they had stripped cats down hanging in the refrigerator.
Oh no, that was in Niagara Falls.
Yeah.
What the hell were they doing with cats?
Well, they were using it. The stupid Chinese eat anything.
But did you have trouble with a Chinese restaurant when you're in Los Angeles at your brother's place? The government came and closed it down?
Yeah, they shut it down.
What happened?
Unfit to be open.
What happened?
He was a Vietnam veteran.
Yeah.
And he didn't keep the place clean. He didn't do it. He didn't have any tables clean or nothing. The floor was filthy dirty.
And so the government came in and said,
somebody complained about him, and the government came in and shut him down.
You were sitting there at the time?
Yeah, we didn't eat. He said, "I'm sorry, you'll have to leave me. This place is closed down."
Wow, that was lucky you didn't eat. You might not be here today. Mr. Jeckovich, what is your pet peeve?
Pet peeve?
Pet peeve, yeah.
People flash it off almost, they know.
People boast?
Yeah, boasting.
Was it like that guy that looked at your book and gave you all those negative reviews?
Yeah, he knew all about it.
What was he all about? Who was this guy?
Young Tally.
And he grabbed your book, didn't even read the 800 plus pages?
Punctuation's not too bad. Spelling's not too bad. He says, but the thought in the book, I couldn't grasp the thought. I didn't know what you were talking about.
Yeah.
Well, he's a big boss anyway.
Mr. Jeckovich, how do you handle people with aggressive behavior?
Aggressive behavior?
Yeah.
Just get out of their way.
Yeah. Mr. Jeckovich, this is an important question. Have you ever served time on a jury?
Yes.
And what was that case about?
It's about the house, the woman, I don't, they're blaming the woman for starting the fire in the house.
Oh, okay. And was that a long, did you have a long time at jury duty?
Yeah, about 3 weeks.
Oh, did you get paid for it?
Yeah.
Did you miss
Well,
work?
they used to call me at school, 3 o'clock, that you got jury duty, I gotta leave right now.
Oh, wow. Wow. Mr. Jeckovich, you have minutes?
4 minutes.
How?
4
You
minutes.
sure?
Yeah.
Mr. Jeckovich, have you ever been horseback riding?
Yes.
Did you enjoy it?
No.
No? Why?
Oh, it was too big, I couldn't handle a horse, I didn't know how to horseback.
Was that when you were a little boy?
Huh? No, I was in the army then in Texas.
Mr. Jeckovich, on page 1 and 2 of your book, you mentioned that you made a lot of food for the family. During making all this specialty food that you made, including the muffins and
Cream puffs.
yeah, Mr. Jeckovich, did you normally eat leftovers?
If it was decent to eat, yeah. It was only 1 day old. Everything after 1 day we threw out.
Throughout. Mr. Jeckovich, do you think the supernatural exists?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Minutes?
3 minutes and 10 seconds.
Okay. Mr. Jeckovich, have you ever smoked cigars?
No,
No, never?
never. What's his name? What's that guy? He was smoking a cigar all the time.
Charlie.
Charlie, yeah.
Mr. Jeckovich, do you like meeting new people?
Oh, yeah, it's got certain type of people.
Yeah, okay.
Gotta be selective.
What do you think in the last 100 years was the best invention that was ever made?
Tell you what,
What do you think during the last 100 years was the best invention ever made?
that's it.
Best
Cut the
invention.
mortality rate on infants and children.
I see. Mr. Jeckovich, do you own a gun?
No, now?
Yeah,
No, I don't know, no firearms at all.
okay. Minutes, please.
2:20.
Mr. Jeckovich, are you a materialistic person?
Materialistic? No, I don't think so.
No. Okay.
He likes new shirts and sweaters.
New shirts and so on,
What?
lots of,
You
you
like
have a lot of
new
new
shirts.
clothes.
Huh?
You like new sweaters.
You have a whole room full of clothes. Mr. Jeckovich, when you were a boy, did you ever sleepwalk?
Sleepwalk?
Yeah.
No, I didn't, but Uncle Lookie did.
He slept walk?
Yeah, we used to get up in the middle of the afternoon. My mother said, "Go down and get him off the stairs." He goes to the stairs. He could go outside the door pretty soon.
Wow. Wow.
And his eyes are open. He's just walking.
Wow.
That must have been scary. Wow. Mr. Jeckovich, have you ever passed out?
Passed out?
Yeah.
I don't think so, though.
No?
Maybe when you got shot up that one time, you were close to passing out. Remember?
Well, I was awesome, was
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mr. Jeckovich, do you think vanity is a good thing?
Up to a point. You can't be meek and mild.
Mr. Jeckovich, have you ever lied about your age?
No, what the hell am I going to lie about my age?
I'm just reading the text. Mr. Jeckovich, what's the worst thing that has ever bitten you?
Been what?
What's the worst thing that's ever bitten you?
Bitten you, a cat.
A cat bit you?
No, I was running on a new road.
Oh, yeah?
That's what I was running there. It was the winter time, the cat was up the tree. And
Wow.
when I went by, he jumped down. I mean, look, I had my hood on, and he jumped on me, and the hood saved my head.
Wow.
Wow. That's unusual.
Wow. Mr. Jeckovich, how well do you work under pressure?
How well do I work under pressure?
Yeah.
I think fairly good, all upon how bad the pressure is.
Okay.
If I'm getting shot and killed, I think I'm going to get a little excited.
25 seconds.
Okay. We have another one in the books. We got let me think. I think we have about 125 more texts to read. We'll pick it up tomorrow. So you got another one in the books, Mr. Jeckovich. You did a great job. What do you want to do right now?
What time is it?
Well,
It's early,
I only have a few. Yeah, we only have a few seconds left at the studio.
753.